No. Like, this was recorded while I was in the shower, with my microphone placed on the other side of my property. Please put headphones on to listen to it. I've done a quick loop a couple of the first beginning bit, and then the rest of it's just going to be the full 20 odd minutes played through. So have a listen to it. This is obvious evidence of Arana syndrome technology at work, whatever you want to call it. Like, this is not your natural surroundings. It's like I've said before, over and over, anyone who's got labelled with an issue by the United Kingdom government or deep state or whoever the fuck is controlling it, get yourself labelled up with a label and you're forced and roped into taking medication, which you take. As of Dr. John Hall has said in one of his videos, if you're hit with the technology, you can be on all the meds in the world. If they play the shit at you, they play the shit at you. The meds ain't going to take away technology. It's not going to get rid of it. It's not going to stop if you take a tablet. Like, it might help you sleep. That's about it. And I'm going to start doing a lot more overnight recordings. So I can get 10 hours per recording and just chuck them on YouTube as they are, to be honest. But yeah, if you're a targeted individual, or you're someone that hasn't looked at it in that perspective and got yourself diagnosed, it doesn't matter. You can get yourself a microphone and it gathers evidence. Whether this evidence is for whatever purpose, I don't know at this point. Or human rights people can help. I can't get no information that's correct on the internet for me. But I've got evidence, and I'm going to continue to gather evidence and continue to place it onto YouTube and store it in many different places. And continue to do it. And I'm going to start doing it on other platforms, more platforms, and other YouTube accounts as well. I'm going to make more YouTube accounts, because this stuff needs to be reported. There's so many poor other people who don't know what the hell is going on to them, and they're having this done, and they go and see a psychiatrist, and what does the psychiatrist say to them? What's in your head? But to be fair, mind, once, many years ago, psychiatrist asked me, do you hear some noises when you're running a tap? Do you hear sounds or voices when you run the tap? Well, the microphone hears it when you run the tap. To answer that question, I would have ever come across the channel. I've done a few running, I'm going to do more running water, but I've done underwater. This is a running water, obviously I'm in the shower. So yeah, as of like Dr. John Hall has said, fans and water amplify the noises up. And I've got no fear of these sick bastards. I shall continue to record and put it on there. Some people might come across it, you might just think it's a load of old jumbled noise, but if there's anyone who comes across this stuff and who knows a bit about audio, copy it and have a look at it yourself, I don't know. But we're going to ask yourself a question is, like, I might have had an immature approach when I first started doing my channel with a stupid MI5, or was it MI6 pictures, but fuck knows who's behind it. But what you got to ask yourself is, like, people in local government and authorities, if they not woke up to the fact that people with illnesses receive like noise issues, can record it Another bit of advice I'd like to give to targeted individuals as well, and mental health patients. You do basically, as far as I'm concerned, you're just a targeted individual. You should keep an eye on DNA and stuff like that, because they play the sounds at each person, and the next person doesn't hear it. They've got to do that some way, like, so does DNA play a role in it? I'm not sure. But the microphone can capture it, and I think it captures a load of other stuff as well. But like I've said, there's other people that's better at amplifying it up. Not that long ago, I went for a blood test, an NHS blood test. That's in the United Kingdom. That's the National Health Service. It's short for NHS. Watching this video from elsewhere, but I had a blood test. You know, I come back fine, no problem. But it's funny, like, been feeling a bit strange now. But well, when did I have it? It's quite a way back now. I had my blood test in May, towards the end of May. Today is the 9th of the 6th, 2025. So we're into the next month. And if they are doing experimentations on people and they do need DNA, like, what happens to the blood test? I'm not blaming the people that's doing the testing now and at the testing place, but what happens when them samples are done with? Like, where do they go? Where are they disposed to? Is it computerised? Is AI involved with that? Is it like agents and dark people who can pop into them places and maybe have a bit of sample for certain targets from purposes like that to keep them experimented on? Possibly. I do not know. This is Britain now. Where else it works in other parts of the West, I don't know. But I'm sure I've heard on other conspiracy shows who's talked about this targeted individual business, that they need DNA, the person's DNA. And they've said they come into a home to take samples from a toothbrush. Well, I don't think they necessarily do that. Maybe it's blood tests, maybe you drop cigarette butts while you're out. It could be anything like that. Or rubbish bins. You're not going to come into your house, are they? They go into your rubbish bin outside and take stuff from there. Something like that. It's obviously got to be that's got to play some part into some people's stories, I don't know. There was something else I was going to say. Yeah, I just feel a bit different after my blood test, like, so that's something to be thought of. That's what I was going to say. Years ago when I was living at my other property, I knew what day my bin got emptied, and this is not the first time, it's twice I've noticed this, maybe 3 times. Extra bin collections for my recycling. This is in the United Kingdom. I've noticed a white dodgy pickup truck with no markings on it come and just take my recycling bin waste, plastic water bottles, and go. Twice I noticed that at my one property. At my other property, years back, similar thing happened. Some character come up to my bin. I was at my flat, I could see my bin there, and they just emptied it. That was like probably like 3 days before my bin was due to be emptied at my old property. But if it's at my mum's property, I noticed that the second and third time, the same day that bins was due to be emptied, we had our bins emptied twice, basically. So I've definitely picked that up. So maybe DNA plays a part in it. I've heard on some talk show an ex-government employee from America say they need DNA to keep them attracted, or system attracted to a victim, something like that. But no, I think that's worth adding. And I've just had a blood test now, and things have gone a bit different, like. But I don't know. And the shitheads fucking got me roped into all sorts of bullshit. Like, I got no chance of having a fucking job or career because they've done this to me, and I fucking stupidly went moaning to the fucking cracker psychiatrist about issues, thinking that I was being energy weapons and for my neighbours, and that's a load of bullshit. I don't believe that now, but they get to think anything. So I went reporting to fucking psychiatrist for safety to get out my properties, thought I was unsafe there, for a load of bullshit, and that got me labelled up with what I've been labelled up with. So I got no chance of getting no job. No one employs people that's been labelled up. So that's fucked up a lot of shit for me. So, as far as I'm concerned, I shall continue and try and put as much as I can and try and advise people. And should I ever experience a hospital or anything like that, there's plenty of advice I could give to patients in there, I can tell you that much. Plenty. You know, I think I'll leave it at this for now. My video's going to start now. The audio clip is going to start after the little short video of me looping a couple of bits. Put headphones on, but it's all evidence. There's evidence there. So yet again, the sick pups at MI5, GCHQ, the Deep State, United Kingdom government, whether you're aware or not, I think perhaps you probably ain't, because a lot of you may have family members that have got issues themselves that you think is a medical or mental health issue. It's not just mental health either, but medical frauds and everything. I could start another YouTube channel about that. It's not just your mental health, they like to do your physical health as well, but that's this conversation for another time, that is. I also would like to recommend people to watch Gaia Television. Gaia, G-A-I-A, Gaia as in Earth. Gaia.com. What's did I spell right then? Because I struggle with my spelling. Yeah, what's Gaia Television. It's a lot of useful information, but some of it may not be as useful for some, but yeah, it's just interesting information. And I shall continue reporting the evil Ether AI system on my channel. So I'll leave it there for now.